charging away. My Bitcoin bowl is all I have left. Sold my house, my gold no less. The wolves I circle in my huddling hands, but this man's much stronger than the average man. Today the market has taken another dip to restock, refuel this moonboard ship. My dreams may be futile, oh, this you say, while my Bitcoin bowl keeps charging away.
So now people can see us, now they can hear us. Welcome to this show today. Today we're here with Michael Yeates from Alienworlds. Welcome.
Hello. Hi.
Let's dig right into it from the start. What is Alienworlds?
So Alienworlds is a metaverse. It's a NFT DeFi mashup on Wax blockchain.
And a metaverse, like that doesn't really say what it is. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, because we don't define what it is or what it becomes. We're kind of just building the ground rules for how this will work. And then it's down to the players or the explorers to kind of build up what they want to happen in the game. We're going to start with a couple of games, mining and a fighting game. But the idea is that other people will use the the framework that we give them to build other games inside, which will use our economy to run.
Yeah, Kaiser thinks that we are twins, so I think that's is that a compliment, or is it positive or negative?
I think it's good for me, probably bad for you.
We will see. We will see. Okay, so today we had a questionnaire with where we asked people to add their questions, and we actually got a bunch of them. Some people left up to 10 questions, which is nice. So let's just dig right into it, and if we have any extra questions, we can get them from the chat as well. So, will you release the reminder of the T8s? And the T8 is one of the avatars.
Yeah, so the T8 was one of our promo cards, which we had a T15 as well, which only went out to people who signed up for our newsletter. And then later on, we have the female version of the T15, which is the T8. Yeah, we plan to give out the remainder of those. We plan to auction off the early mints, but we still have quite a lot to give away. We've just been distracted with the sale and everything. So, but yeah, expect those to come in various ways. We're trying to avoid the same people getting the same cards all the time. And that's what tends to happen if we just throw the links into Telegram.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to get a little bit creative with where the T8 links are going. Possibly not.
I mean, you have been creative. You started to change the like when you post a link, there is a key at the end, and you start to swap some letters for some symbol, and people had to manually try to fix it.
Yeah.
But even that ended up with having like the same 5 to 10 people's figuring it out.
Yeah. So it's good for us that new people come into the ecosystem and that we have new people owning these things. So yeah, I'm going to try to drop them in probably not the usual places. And if they are in the usual places, then I'll probably do that thing where I change the key so that people have to work a little bit. They can't just click.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like when I did it, I started to make give hints and make it more difficult and use videos. That was some hints.
I saw you replaced like 3 characters, which is probably a bit too hard.
Yeah, and people even figured it out because I made them to some kind of word. I searched for some kind of like acronym or word or something, and I changed them so they could guess it as one key as well.
Yeah.
But okay, how many cards are needed to mine? Can I mine NFTs? That is the next question.
Number of cards needed to mine, technically none. We've made it so that you can start the game with literally nothing. And when you first start, you're giving a free shovel, like a basic shovel, which, you know, it doesn't extract very much, but at least you can start with that. And yes, you can mine NFTs. If you look at the bottom right corner of the cards, you'll see a number with like a snowflake type symbol. That is the luck parameter. So that's the percentage that you'll receive an extra NFT.
Okay, but then since I have studied this a bit more, I also noticed that symbol is on the lands. What does that mean?
The land will actually modify your tools as well. So say that you have a 5% chance with your tools, you can then go to the land and you see that it will be like 2.5, which means that it's 2.5 times your modifier. So if you have 5 and then it's 2.5, you'll have 12.5.
Nice.
Just a chance of receiving. So some land is more lucky than others. Some land will receive more Trillium than others, so you kind of, there's a bit of strategy in choosing which piece of land that you mine onto.
People say that this AMA is an unusual place to drop links, and I would say that is a usual way, not an unusual way. So okay, that's good. So there are moving targets because some land has a higher multiplier on luck, which means that if you want NFTs, that might be the land that you want to mine on compared to other lands.
Yeah. Most of the NFTs will be part of the abundant class, which we don't have in the packs, so nobody's seen any abundance yet. In fact, you'll see that there's a standard shovel, there's a standard sword or something for the fighting game. And those haven't been minted yet because they're not in the actual game yet. So there's a higher chance of producing an abundant tool or weapon, but you can still receive, I think you can receive mythicals, but you can definitely receive legendaries from a mine. Very small chance, but it's definitely there.
It can happen. Cool.
Yeah.
And you have this ability to shine NFTs in Alienworlds. What is that? Let's add that as well, because the second follow-up that I had is, can you do that on the abundant items?
Yeah, so you can shine abundant items, but they don't go as high a level as the other items. So if I get this right, then common can go up to Stardust, and abundant can go to gold, I believe. So abundance can't be shined as much, but they can be shined a little bit to increase their stats. So basically, when you shine a card, you take 4 cards of one type, you burn them, you add a bit of Trillium, and then it gives you back another card, which is a higher grade, which is either gold, Stardust, or antimatter. And the new card they have different effects on them, so they're animated. If you notice, none of the cards are animated now. So the shined cards and the special cards are actually animated, and they have different borders. And yeah, so I think some cards are going to look a lot cooler in certain shine levels. Like there's one with have you seen the snake, the gold snake tool, which is a common card at the moment, but I think because it's yellow, I think it's going to look really cool if it's shined up to a gold level. And yeah, it increases the properties as well, so it'll mine better or it'll fight
So
better.
shining, is that a guarantee that it increased the percentage or the stats on the tools?
Yeah, we're still working on the exact stats, but the idea is that obviously a gold version of the same card will have better stats than the common version of that card.
And adding to, since we're on the shine one, people in the Wax NFT space care about the mint numbers. Is that something that will follow as well?
Yeah, so when you shine, you'll get a whole new mint. A new card will be minted. So if you're the first person to shine a common item, then you will get that first mint of the gold, for example.
Yeah. And the mint numbers of the ones that you use to shine, is that added in some kind of detail as well?
There is something related to something which is similar to the mint number of the items that are put together. Yeah.
There is something of something related. Okay.
There's something to kind of give a little hint about what kind of mint numbers, because the mint numbers aren't actually on chain.
Yeah.
So we don't have access to them when they're being shined. But there is a proxy that we can use, which would be kind of similar to that. And we're kind of leaving that down to people to work out for themselves. There's a number which is on some of the cards, which is not there yet. But on the shined cards, you'll notice there's an extra attribute, and that's the one. And people can do what they like with it, but it's a kind of like a record of how it got there. So.
Interesting. Nice. So you mentioned Trillium is needed to shine. What is Trillium?
Trillium is our in-game currency, and that is what you win using with mining. So when you mine, you receive Trillium, and we're kind of sorting out the details now, but in the fighting game, there will probably be some Trillium to be won as well. And yeah, it's our in-game currency. We're going to use it for shining, so you have to pay to shine. Smaller amounts for lower grade shining, and then higher amounts obviously for the other grades. And yeah, in the future we'll have extra uses for that within the game.
Nice. So the mining gear, we have a question there. There are different kinds of tools. Do they work differently? And when you mine, you can choose multiple tools. How many can you choose, and does it matter?
Yeah, so you can choose 3 tools. They can actually be the same 3 items. You can have the same card 3 times if you have more than 3 of them. There's no restrictions on how many you have. If you have 3, you can have up to 3. And yeah, there's no other restrictions on what you can. Like the categories they're just names. They don't mean anything. You don't have to have one from each category or anything like that.
Nice. And okay, let's say we have the quantum drill, because we also had a question about that in the live chat, and we put that on a volcano which has a multiplier of 2.5. So that means that with my math, a quantum drill will reach 100% of not luck, ease, which is how you mine Trillium, I guess. So what happens if I have 3 of these drills for one volcano land?
The maximum will be 100. You won't get more than the pots. So that wouldn't be a great strategy to mine with 3 of those. You'd probably want to start increasing your other properties like luck, or just mine with 1 tool, because then your charge time is less, because every tool you add adds some charge time.
So the drill has 4,500 seconds.
So you wouldn't want to use 3 of those, because you wouldn't actually gain very much, and then you would actually lose, because you would have to have longer between mines.
And so you say they add to each other. Is that just like if it's 4,500 on each, then it's like 13,500?
So if you have 3 tools, then the lowest time is removed, so it's only the top 2 times. And if you have 2 tools, then it's the top one plus half of the second one. So it's not all added up. There is a little discount for having more than 1 tool.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, so 3 of those wouldn't be a good strategy, I would say.
Yeah.
So you can create other accounts, or you can just mine with something which is a bit more lucky to increase your NFT chance.
Nice. Is it going to be a walk around play kind of game, text-based, or how will it work?
It's not going to be walk around and play kind of game. This is much more of a strategy type game. So the mining obviously is very simple. You just choose your bag and then you click mine and then you wait and then you have it. But any games that are introduced in the future could be anything from like full-on 3D shooters to platform games to anything really. So that's why it's the metaverse. It's just the basis of we're going to include the voting in there as well, and the staking. So all of the planetary governance stuff is going to be pretty much text-based and strategy. So to begin with, it's not going to be 3D shoot 'em up or 3D world, but definitely in the future that is something that we would look to have. And we actually have a fund for that. So if anybody wants to build the 3D world which replicates that, then we have a global hub fund which is used to pay for anything that's needed, any work that's needed to be done. So we definitely encourage people to do that.
In that fund, is it Trillium? Is it Wax? Is it anything?
It's Trillium. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's see the next question. Will we have ability to sell items in game, like a store, properties selling mining equipment for visiting miners, or other things that they might want to need, or need?
To begin with, no, but I think anything is possible. I'd have to check exactly on this one. But yeah, anything. It will not be. Yeah, so it will not be handled by the UI for the game. Packs are obviously sold through our website, and it might be possible to buy certain items in the game in future, but not at the first step, no.
Okay, that's good. Do we need a hero to do the mining?
You don't need a hero. We all need a hero at some point, but you don't need to do one for mining, no. You just go with your tools, and that's it. You don't need they're not called heroes, they're called minions.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't need one for mining.
Do you need an avatar?
Yeah, but again, you get a free avatar. So the T8, which we spoke about earlier, is an avatar, and the T15 are avatars. When you first start the game, you get given a free avatar as well. So you get given a free. You can choose if you want a male human or a female human. So yeah, you do need an avatar, but you'll always be given one. But then if you have one which is from the packs, you'll obviously look cooler.
Yeah.
and you'll feel better about yourself.
Perhaps.
Exactly.
And the mining, is it on server side, blockchain side, or is it on my computer? Do I need to leave my computer on to mine? How does it work?
Yeah, so the mining is actually proof of work mining, which is quite unique. It's not the kind of CPU mining that we've seen on EOS. It is proof of work. There will be work required, and it will be done on your machine. So, but it's quite light. You're not going to need to leave it on for like 24 hours with fans going and everything going mental. It's about 10 to 20 seconds of mining, just to prove that you've done some work for that Trillium. Yeah.
And we talk about that proof of work mining. I'm thinking about the mining farm in China that sounds buzzy. If you go and Google for a Bitcoin mining farm and you listen to the sound, is that what we will see in Alienworlds or?
There will be some of that. We know that people are going to start mining using the scripts and outside of our user interface. So we have a few things there which are designed to slow them down a little bit. So if you're not mining with a WAM account, if you're not using a Waxcloud wallet account, then you have to do more proof of work. Also, you have the delay between the mines, so it's not so easy to mine a huge amount without having a huge number of accounts. Then each account has to have NFTs, so you have to equip every account. So it's not like you can't just create a billion accounts and then mine with every account and get ahead of everybody. As you're discovering, I think, yeah,
yeah,
you're finding that actually it's not so easy to set up a mining rig as it may have originally sounded.
Yeah, for sure. But then again, I did do some GPU mining on Ethereum and other chains, and that was not that easy to set up in the start either.
Yeah, but we have the delays and we have the requirements for the NFTs, because if you just start with your basic NFTs, you could mine a lot, but you can mine, but you're not going to get a huge amount between each mine. So yeah, there's strategy there, and we will allow miners, but they will be hampered a little bit versus people who click on the user interface.
Yeah, and I think that is good, because it's one way to help the users that are not programmers or don't have all these technical skills and want to participate.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to keep tweaking the algorithms as well. If we find that it's a little bit unfair to one party or the other, then we'll change them. But yeah, we hope everybody can come along and mine and play and receive some Trillium and use that Trillium to then take part in the game.
Yeah, we have one question. Well, he wonders, the higher level cards have higher stats. Is there a purpose to have the common and the rare cards, and what kind of purpose is that?
Not every card can be an awesome card. It's like people. So yeah, if you have a lot of accounts, you may want to have a lot of commons. We have this shining ability, so you could turn a common card into something which is actually quite decent if you get it to the antimatter level. It just, it adds a bit of depth to the gameplay.
It's hard to take the common to an antimatter, though, since it's not possible.
You need 64, so at the moment, there's not enough available. Like most or a lot of the cards haven't even had 64 issued yet. So.
Yeah, but the common one can't reach antimatter, can it? It's just rare.
Upwards, so commons can't reach antimatter, but yeah, so a Stardust antimatter, a Stardust card would be, quite tricky.
And if you shine them, do you have some kind of ratio? Like at this level, it's better than the next rarity, the higher rarity, or something like that?
Yeah. So well, yeah, everything is going to so a shined gold legendary is obviously going to be way better than a gold common. They're kind of going to increase within their own categories. But for example, an unshined stone legendary versus a rare antimatter may not be so much different. It may be quite similar. Like I said, we haven't got the exact numbers yet, but we're still tweaking to find out where those exact lines are. But yeah, it's going to be worth it for some people to collect commons and rares, and worth it for other people to just keep an eye out for legendaries and mythics. Because getting a legendary to antimatter status is going to be very difficult.
Yeah. And can you introduce any token into your platform? That is a question we have.
It's a metaverse, so I guess anything could be added in there. Yeah, I mean, if a planet says they want to print their own token and give that out to people for voting for them, then there's nothing we can do. So it's not kind of in the game, but it is used within the game. So it's not a case of if the Federation can't stop it happening, then it will happen.
Yeah.
And there's not an awful lot we can stop happening other than removing a planet's Trillium income and letting them kind of drift off.
Yeah, we have a few questions on land. When will they be available, and will the price be a tiered structure like we had on the first sale?
Will it be a
like we started at 1600 and then we went down to 500, and each 2 hours it kept going down?
Yeah, we quite like the Dutch auction style, and it's been received pretty well actually. We haven't had many complaints about it. It's quite a fair way to distribute everything. So yeah, land will be a Dutch auction like every other sale will be. And the exact date, I believe it's the 4th of December.
Yes, I know this by heart now.
Good.
From Friday, it's every 2 weeks. Every 2
weeks from Friday, yeah. So yeah, I think we'll end up on the 4th of December where the land sale is, yeah.
When will Shining be live?
Shortly after the user interface is live and mining is live, because Shining takes Trillium. So we want to make sure that people have chance to earn Trillium before they can shine.
Okay, that's good, because then people that open their promo packs won't have that much of an advantage.
Yeah, otherwise only people who've opened promo packs or basically team members have Trillium so far. So we want to just, maybe we'll give a week or two or a little bit more, just to give people time to build up enough Trillium and then work out their strategy for shining. It's going to be interesting to see who goes to shine what and what they shine first.
We have some people that misunderstood you a bit here. You said that you could cut off a planet. What does that mean, and when would that happen?
Oh, so the Federation, the planets receive income from the Federation based on how much they have staked to them. The Federation could say, I don't like that planet anymore because they're breaking the rules, or they're doing something that's really offensive to me, or they're just doing something that we don't like, and we could potentially cut them off from being part of the Alliance of Planets. We don't really see that this is ever going to happen, unless, for example, say some people took over a planet and then they removed the DAC contracts and they just forced themselves in there and they said, right, we're in charge of this from now on, we're not playing the game anymore, we're not doing anything. Then we would probably remove them, but we don't want to remove anybody. But it's the last resort that's available. In fact, the only resort that's available to us. To prevent anything happening in this metaverse, that's all we can do, is we can stop the planet receiving Trillium. But let's hope that never happens. I don't think it will. I don't think it definitely won't happen for a while, because I don't think anyone will. They won't know how to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, and just to make it clear one more time, if someone gets voted into the planet and they change the staking revenue or they change something like that, that's not the kind of thing that would cut the planet off. It's if they actually go and try to do something to destroy how the game works, or
if they try to interfere with those base laws of physics, then we wouldn't be happy. But To be honest, for me, I see everything as fair game. You know, if somebody does something really clever and then they kind of like skirt around some rules, but they haven't broken the rules, then, you know, that's fair game. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Really, that's like life.
Yeah, and that's also where we have this voting mechanism where you can actually vote on people, and they can go in and they can go back from the changes. If let's say they take all revenue in the planet and give to themselves, probably they will be voted out, and they will change it when they
Yeah,
meet people.
but that definitely wouldn't be against the rules.
Yeah.
For somebody to be voted in and then just say, okay, I'm taking 100% of the trillium that comes in for myself. That would be fine, because we would expect that people would stop voting for them. And if they do vote for them, then that's
Do we need one person to take over a planet, do something like that, or how does it work?
The council, I think, will initially be set up with 5 people, with 3 required for a decision to be made. So actually, it requires 3 out of 5 people. Again, that could be changed. You could change it so that the planet only has 1 ruler and it requires that 1 guy. But there's a few reasons why you wouldn't want to do that, because if that guy loses his keys, then the planet is lost. That's probably one case where we would cut the planet off if the planet was lost and they changed it to 1 ruler and that 1 ruler disappeared.
Yeah, he lost his keys, his account, or something.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we have these DAX structures with multi-sigs, so that, you know, we can avoid these kind of loss of blockchain assets.
Yeah,
which the planet is, you know.
And when it comes for a user and they vote for the governance or the council or whatever they are called on that planet, how many can they vote for?
I'm thinking 2, because that makes it interesting that it's less than 3, so that 1 single large token holder can't use their entire weight of tokens to vote for 1 guy.
Yeah.
They have to, or 3 guys rather, they have to kind of split their pot into 2 and vote half on each, which reduces their voting power.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Okay, after the land sale and we are all overloaded with enough Trillium to buy a Lambo, do you have any plans of future to keep the landowners and miners busy? Do you keep engaging new players who have come across the Alienworlds? Yeah, I guess that just means when we have moved on and the game has started, what is the plan to moving forward? And you mentioned that a little bit. So.
Yeah, so the plan is it's a metaverse, and we will encourage any kind of independent thinking and any kind of new games and any kind of changes to the planet's governance. To be honest, once it starts, we are hoping to have very little control or little direction. We will, obviously, to begin with, we will help people out as much as possible, and if people come to us with ideas, we'll even fund that. So yeah, the first goal is really just to kind of get everybody on board, get their head around how it works, and then once they've started to see how it all works, I think then it starts to get fun, because people are kind of, you know, they're used to the planetary governance, they're used to the mining and the staking and everything, and then it's like, right, we go to the next level then. But we're at a first level now, so
soon at the first level.
Yeah, we will soon be at the first level. But yeah, we're definitely looking outside of the Wax ecosystem as well. We're looking at projects like Decentraland. We're looking at possibly having some land in Decentraland, which would, I don't know exactly, this is all very new, but we're basically thinking of having some sort of teleportation device built into Decentraland, which would bring people across to Alienworlds. We're speaking to some guys from that side of town, and yeah, we're seeing what kind of interesting things we can do to cross over into different games, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be,
yeah. And one question we have, like, now we have this land, and land is for mining, and if you own land, you can get some revenue from it if people land on it. You can, and let's just go through that. Why would someone want to land on Alienworlds?
To begin with, it's going to be mostly the commission on the mining, but later on we're planning to be able to develop on that land. So once the mining game sort of becomes a little bit more sophisticated, we're going to have the ability to develop on the land, and yeah, all kinds of games that will revolve around the land on the planets. Yeah, to begin with, they'll receive commissions and they'll play little games with the miners to make sure that they all come to mine on their particular piece of land.
Yeah, and Bob asked something about the mining process and if you need a wallet, and that is answered in the start of this video. So just go back there after we're done, and you will get all your answers there. And there's a question if you are about cross-connecting different projects through NFTs, mid-term, long-term, and you just mentioned that you want to do things like that, but that was for a game and for their community. How about the NFTs?
Yeah, definitely. Mid-term, I think we'll be looking to potentially either use other projects' NFTs within the game, or create games which use other projects' NFTs, or other projects will use our NFTs and our Trillium. There's a lot of options there for kind of cross-linking games, and I think honestly it's a little bit more about the story. Like, so if we have, let's say we have Nifty Wizards integration, like how did the wizards get to the planets, and like why are they in the planets, and what are they doing? So if we answer these questions, then I think it becomes very easy. So maybe the wizards are here and they're mining using their special weed tools, and they have their own little tools, and they're doing a little mining game that way. So yeah, definitely medium term, I would say we would be looking to integrate with other projects.
And I might also drop that if you are looking at the planet that you will see that where my accounts are, that is something that are likely to happen or not with Nifty Wizards and something else. And I'm saying that as if you get into a planet and people elect some specific kind of people to that planet, some of these things that we're talking about might happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be short to medium term. I would say it's not impossible. These things are all kind of planned. It's just a case of
someone has to build it.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, there's endless of possibilities, and everything that people suggest is possible. It just has to happen.
Yeah, it's a metaverse.
Yeah. What is the best way for a new person to get involved with Alienworlds and community? Where should they find you? If never heard about it and everything.
I think our Telegram is a good place, and then also our Discord. I think our Discord is going to become more and more useful once we start having different planets, because we have a lot more categories in Discord.
Yeah.
So I'd say join Discord, probably buy some packs, get us a couple of NFTs, and then when the game is out, just start mining and start playing, and then just sort of get an idea for how things work, stake to planets. Just keep in touch. It's a community thing, so you need to be part of the community if you're going to know what's going on. And predominantly that is Telegram and Discord at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, and for anyone that is not used to Discord, the best, well, the one of the biggest features there is that you can have multiple communities within the community. On Telegram, you have to join each room. On Discord, you can set up a new room within the community, and you can actually allow just a few people to go in there. So potentially it could be built so that anyone that stakes to a planet has ability to reach some rooms that someone else cannot reach, potentially in the future. And things like that.
Telegram is pretty much one group for one purpose, and everybody's allowed or nobody's allowed. You know, it's a private room or it's a public room, whereas Discord has a lot more flexibility there. So it just makes it a lot easier, but people aren't quite used to it yet from within the kind of EOS.io community. I think communities outside are actually using Discord. So
gaming communities, Discord is where it happens.
And even within Ethereum, I think a lot of those communities are using Telegram these days. So Discord rather.
Yeah. We have one question about the land sale that wasn't answered before. Are there any measures in place to prevent one person from buying all land, or how does that look?
Well, the Dutch auction works quite well to stop somebody buying all the land. I think it's, I think there's nobody going to buy all the land. There's a lot of land available, and to buy all of it, you, especially on the first rung of the Dutch auction, it's going to cost an awful lot of money. And what's the end game? You know,
Yeah.
why would somebody do that? I guess they want to sell it on the secondary market or something, or I don't know why that would be useful to anybody to buy all of the land, particularly quite early on. So yeah, the Dutch auction style does tend to prevent people from buying too much, I guess. But you know, it raises a lot of questions about what is too much and why would somebody want to buy too much, and all of these. You know, there in the real world there are people who are richer than others people. There's the Pareto effect in the world. So yeah, there will be some people who will own more land than other people. This is just something we have to kind of build into our knowledge base and know.
Yeah, but you don't need land to play the game, and that is an important factor. You can earn Trillium, you can mine, you can play the other games without owning any land.
You could be in charge of a planet and not own any land on that planet. So
yeah. And Rob actually wrote in the channel that there's 3,343 lands, and if you multiply that by 1 land per pack, you get that there's 3,343 packs. And then we have this question: is the price gonna be same price range as the first sale? Is it gonna be more expensive? Do we have a set price, or just the?
We haven't set prices yet. We haven't even set them internally, so we haven't announced the prices. I would say that if you get land plus better cards plus 8 cards, I would say it's going to be a bit more expensive than 4 cards. That would be my kind of initial thinking.
So direction is higher than the first sale, which we have experienced so far.
Yeah, the prices are going to rise because obviously the next pack, the rare pack, has 8.
Yeah, well, that's a good question that I have then. The prices are going to rise, but the prices were actually set by the community for when the packs were sold. So what's the take there?
Yeah, so actually, yeah, I'm gonna leave the pack pricing for the next sale, the rare sale. I think that'll be out in the next few days. We'll definitely have that out very soon. But yeah, you're right that the price is set by the community, and everybody decides their own prices to when they want to buy in at.
Yeah. The thing that you set is how fast it goes down. It dropped down to 500. Does it drop down to 500? Does it start higher and drops down for a longer? Well, there's moving targets, but after all the price is set.
It's a complicated game between us and the explorers and the explorers and the explorers. You know, everybody's playing these games against each other, trying to work out the best price.
And will the sale, let's start with the next sale, which is on Friday. Will the sale work exactly the same as the first one, or is there anything different?
It's going to be a little bit different. The first thing that's different is that it will run for longer. So the last sale ran for 24 hours with 2-hour breakpoints.
Yeah.
And this one we're going to run for 36 hours with breakpoints. We're going to change the timing, so we're going to start it a little bit earlier to hopefully include the American market a little bit more, because I feel like we cut them off. There's a lot of them that were asleep when it ended, and we didn't quite think about that thoroughly. So yeah, we've thought about when it's ending and when it's going to be kind of near to ending. Yeah, and that's going to be during a good time for the American audience, who are our biggest purchasers in the first sale. And the second thing I think I can say, so the second thing that we're changing is that we will allow people to make pre-orders. So before the sale starts, we're going to put it up either today or tomorrow, we should have something on the website to show that the sale is beginning. And then people can pre-reserve at different slots. So if you say, I want to pay 500 and I want 6 packs, then you can send the money early. So you don't have to kind of watch the screen and watch everything. You can just set your price and walk away. And the third thing that's a little bit different is that we're introducing some new cards. So we will have a different rarity, I believe. No, not a different rarity, a different, it's a different shine level, I believe. We're calling it X dimension. And I think you've already shown them.
Yeah, but no one noticed.
Nobody noticed. I even kind of did the winking gif to kind of hint to people that there may be something in that picture that's interesting.
If you go to the thumbnail of this, that GIF that was posted in the Alienworld Telegram channel, and you make it larger and you look at the cards, you will notice something is different.
Yeah, so they're what we're calling X dimension cards. And they're going to be pre-shined rare versions of, I think, most of the rare cards, and there will be a small chance to receive those within the rare packs. So they're going to have obviously increased stats above the stone cards as well. And yeah, do you have them? You've got them, haven't you?
Yeah, I do got them.
That's good.
And yeah, I think I can actually I can pull one up above the screen in a second. But while I'm doing that, let's keep you talking at the same time. So you said that you can pre-book something, so you actually send your wax at the price. What happens if all the packs are sold out before that price?
So if the sale starts and then all the packs are sold before it hits you, then you will be refunded after the sale is complete. We're asking people to send the money up front so that they can't kind of game the system and try to sell us out without actually selling us out. So somebody could try to game the system by withdrawing their bids before the sale starts.
Yeah.
Sorry, during the sale. So there's no changes to your pre-order when the sale is commenced. So you need to be quite sure that you are prepared to pay that price once you put in your pre-order. And yeah, it will work the same way once the sale starts. It will continuously tick down, and at every new price, it will see who is pre-ordered, and it will satisfy their orders in order that they made them. So the earlier people to make the orders are going to be sold to first, and then it will come into the open sale, and then it reaches the next price point, and everybody at that price point is handed out, and then it will start the sale again. And if it runs out at any point, then anyone after that obviously receives full refund after the sale.
So if I'm first with making the pre-order, then my pre-order will go first, and if I take the last cards, everyone else gets their money back.
Yeah, and you could have like half of your cards are sold and the rest it was too much. So if there's 50 left and you've made an order for 100, then you'll get 50.
That's good for people that don't want to sit at the computer all day.
Yeah, because a lot of the people are busy, they're doing stuff and they have lives. So yeah, we think it's quite good to allow them to kind of throw their hat in the ring and then walk away, and if it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't.
Then I'm gonna ask something interesting, and that is, will you be able to see how many orders are pre-ordered for the next level before it goes live?
Yeah, everything is on chain. All the pre-orders are on chain, and we'll display pre-orders during the pre-order period. And yeah, you'll be able to see at any point because everything is on chain. So we're not holding anything secret. We do pretty much everything on chain.
So that means, let's say that the price is at 500 and there's 1,000 packs left, just for an example. And then when it goes down to whatever it is, 460, we have 1,500 orders. That's more than all the packs. Then if you want the pack, you know that you need to buy it before it drops down. So that's another game feature.
Yeah. Everything is visible to everybody. It's all transparent. So
And I mean, all of these are visible for people like me that can go into Block Explorer and find this information.
We're going to make it visible for everybody as well, because otherwise it gives you an advantage.
But that's good.
No, it's not good. We don't like that. Also, for the Ethereum people, I think it might help them a little bit to get their orders in advance, because it's tricky with Ethereum because there is that delay, so you don't buy immediately as you do with Wax. So I think the pre-orders will help the Ethereum people a little bit to be kind of first in the queue, or at least up there in the queue, and not have to worry.
And in case you do a pre-order on Ethereum and you don't get your pack, you get all Ethereum back except the transactions fee.
I think we'll even send back, we'll send back exactly as much as you sent. You won't get the transaction fee that you used to send it to us. But we won't reduce your refund by.
So you will cover the cost on the way back.
Yeah, it's not too bad. We refunded a few from the last sale, and it's not too bad now. So.
Yeah, no. Right now it's easy. It goes fast and it's simple on Ethereum, because right now it's not a million people trying to use DeFi at the same time, and basically transactions are not expensive. It's the contract things that are.
Yeah, if you want to interact with the contract, it's expensive, but sending pure Ethereum is actually not too bad. And we found that if we send it on a Sunday, it's actually it's way easier as well, and we can send with a lot less gas than normal. So
yeah, that's good. And okay, so back to a question: is parallel mining possible with one account, even if you have more mining tools? No.
Mining must be serial if you have a single account, because the proof of work algorithm relies on the last transaction that you made that mined successfully. So part of that transaction ID is included in the value that's hashed for your next proof of work. So each one builds on top of the last one. So you can't, and that's one of the things we wanted. We didn't want somebody setting up a script which would mine 1 million times all at once and then just continuously submit them to the chain to ignore the delay.
Okay, so when you're done, when you have mined, there's a delay. What happens if I move to another land during that time? Is it the same delay? Is it added a new delay?
Yeah, the delay is made up from your tools, and then there's a multiplier on the land as well. So if you move to a land which has a higher multiplier, then the time since your last mine will increase. Yeah.
What happens if I start on a high one and then I move to one that has less of a multiplier? Does my mining goes down?
The time since you last mined must have passed. So if it's 60 seconds, then 1 minute must have passed since you last mined. And if that reduced to 30, then only 30 seconds have to have passed since your last mine.
Okay, so if I then go back to the other land, I still have a delay on that land.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not. I can't cheat that by going to one that is faster, then go back to the good one and go again.
We've thought about these kind of things.
Damn. But it's good. I mean, it's nice that you have answers to all these gamifications that I try to find loopholes for, but because that shows that you have thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part of it, is trying to think how people are going to scam the system and cheat it, and how to protect against that, but knowing that also you can't always defend against everything.
Yeah, and we actually have one question. Is the ID from the NFT into the delay, or because we have a question if you can transfer the NFT to another account and use that directly?
If you can transfer it to another account?
Yeah, I have a quantum drill. I empty in a volcano. I send it to another account, and can I mine with it directly?
Yeah, but the first account will no longer be able to mine with it.
Yeah.
So you have to possess it when you start mining, or when you mine.
Yeah, but during the delay after I'm done is what I'm asking.
The delay doesn't happen after. The delay happens before. So no.
The delay is before the mining starts and not after the mining starts.
Yeah, so let's say I have the quantum drill, I mine with it, and then I transfer it to you. You still have that delay time. So yeah, and I still have my delay, so I can't, you can't really gain by that.
Okay. I guess that's the answer then. So you cannot do that. You cannot game it by mining with one, send it to the next one, mining with it, send it to the next one, mining with it. Not with one item.
No.
And we have a question: Will Alienworlds have any DeFi aspects? And yeah.
I mean, it's all DeFi. What is DeFi? It's
crypto is DeFi.
yeah, it's a very very hard to define term. So yeah, we have DeFi. We have the mining, which is DeFi.
Yeah.
We have staking and potentially rewards from those staking. So yeah, we're definitely DeFi. We're DeFi and we're NFT projects. So
yeah. We will be able to create a community of belters like in the Expanse. I don't even know what Expanse is. Do you know what Expanse is? Then we will not answer that question. I'm sorry. Will Alienworlds have will there be a mobile app for Alienworlds?
Yeah, we're aiming to have everything work on mobile first. So yeah, it will. It's a website which we're working really hard to get it working on mobile as well as desktop. So yeah.
Will you be able to attack miners and steal their loot?
No. This is crypto, so whatever you own, and unless they can get your private keys, they can't steal it from you. We have thought about some kind of little sub games whereby it would test kind of community interactivity, where we say like aliens are invading your world and you have to kind of defend against the aliens, and if the aliens win, then you actually take a hit on the number of the amount of Trillium that your planet will receive. So yeah, we're thinking about those kind of games where there's kind of like an attacker and a defender, and there's a kind of loss. We can't actually take Trillium from people. We can't steal it because it's crypto. You know, you can't steal it. But we are thinking that we would reduce their Trillium income for a certain amount of time if they lost that particular game.
Yeah, that's good. And then I guess another way to lose something would be if the quantum drill is on a volcano, it takes 100%. What happens if we are two people with different tools, the quantum drill finish 1 second before you empties it, will I get nothing then?
Yeah. Yeah.
How long does it take for a land to refill?
For you, they can potentially take the whole pot, and then it builds up slowly over 24 hours. So if you can wait some time, then you can then mine again. But remember, the guy who's using that tool, he can't mine every second.
Yeah.
He will have to wait. Yeah, it's a game that you have to kind of watch what other people are doing as well. It's going to get quite involved.
Surely I had to mute myself. I had some people outside talking, but surely that will add some kind of interesting layer gamifications where people will try to figure out at what, like if I know that like Skywalker's in here, we know it, he has a quantum deals, he's talking about it all the time. If I know what time he usually mines at, then probably I will try to avoid that time.
Yeah, and you can see when his time's about to run out as well. So you can mine just before he does with your quantum drill.
Will that be shown in the interface, or is that something I have to go outside to find out?
I think that's something that we might leave to the community to kind of build on top of. There's going to be a lot of these things which will help you decide which pieces of land to mine on, and these other kinds of strategies I think we'll leave to community tools, and if they want to apply to the Federation for a grant, then we will listen to that. Yeah.
Okay, how does having land on 1 or 2 planets work? Can if I want to mine on my own land in one planet and another, is there some kind of time it takes to travel, or is it instant? Or
no, we've made the time. Originally, we had that there was a time to move between planets, but the aliens, they invented teleportation, so now it's instant. So it's great. yeah, we're going to keep an eye on it. Obviously, we might change it in the future, but for now, there's no delay to switch between planets. No.
Can I do I have to mine on the planet I stake to, or can I mine on other planets?
You can mine on any planet you like. Yeah, you can stake to a different planet, the one you mine to.
And then I guess the other question is, can I stake to all planets, or do I have to choose one?
You can stake to as many planets as you want. Yeah, stake and vote. Obviously, you have to split your Trillium up. You can't stake all your Trillium to one planet.
Do I split them up on one account, or do I have to move them?
You can do it on one account, so you can submit. You can stake half of your Trillium in one account to one planet and half to another account, and then you'll receive planet tokens for each of those planets, which you can then use to vote for people on those planets. Yeah.
And okay, so I can split them on a planet, but I can't split them in the planet, so I can't have two pots to vote with, or can I do that as well? Let's say I have 1 million tokens. I stake them to one planet.
Right. Yeah, you can't split them within the planet, so you can't put 100 to planet A, 100 to planet B, and then kind of sub-split that to 50 votes and then 50 votes. You have to vote with the whole 100 votes. Yeah.
But I can vote on all planets for different people.
Yeah.
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 That's good, because people have already started to speak about that in public and in some of the private channels as well, that you can actually start to change how the revenue is made if you have more revenue on that planet to miners or to stakers and things like that.
Yeah, so initially the default is that 80% goes to miners and 20% goes to the planet for whatever they decide to do with it. They might want to just pay themselves, or they might want to hire people to do stuff, or they might decide give it back to the miners. But yeah, so that can be altered by the planet as well. It's one of the governance parameters.
We have a question. Who does the story on these aliens?
Who does the story? It's Rob, which is why when you ask me the exact stories, I'm a little bit shady, but he's really good at kind of coming up with what happened, and like, you know, the pandemics on the earth have ravaged it, and then there's this Aoshi character who he likes to play. So yeah, that's
it's nice. And like, the more you dwell into this and like dig into this kind of storyline, it's like people that play Dungeons and Dragons. If you haven't played it, like I haven't done it, I don't really understand it, but everyone that has says that it's fantastic once you just go into it and you experience it. So I think that's kind of like Alienworlds as well.
I think it's going to take people a while to kind of get into it and then start the politics and then realize how they can screw over different people and then screwing them over and then being screwed over back. And yeah, it's going to be fun. And then like some people are going to go for one planet and then realize that they can't get that planet, and then they might go for another planet. And yeah.
What other wax projects do you anticipate to allow in this metaverse? And allow is interesting because each planet can choose that as well.
Yeah, exactly. That it's not down to me what we allow or who we allow. It's once the game gets going, the planets are actually sovereign planets and they can do whatever they like. Like I said, we're with the aliens on the Federation. There is a Federation which sits above everybody else. That can remove a planet if they do something really terrible, but I can't foresee that happening. So yeah, I mean, what planets decide to do and what NFTs they use, it's entirely up to them.
I guess there's one aspect is you said that there's a fund to as a development fund for projects, and that's something that you will actually choose as the Federation, I guess.
Yeah, so if somebody were to approach us with a different NFT project and they say, oh, we just need a bit of Trillium to integrate this with Alienworlds, then we could approve or deny that, but we haven't had any of those requests yet.
Let's get that after this then. Let's get some requests.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of any project, I guess they have to be on Atomic Assets. Well, it makes life easier.
It makes it a lot easier, yeah.
So if you're a fan of any project on Atomic Asset, talk to them to apply for this and try to build something to come into Alienworlds as well. It makes it more fun for everyone.
Yeah.
And talk
I
to
mean,
Michael or any one
yeah,
of the teams.
simple assets, atomic assets, probably either will work. It just might take a little bit more work if it's simple assets.
Yeah.
But they would tend to be separate contracts anyway. So, you know, it's almost like a separate project. So it wouldn't necessarily be a problem.
Yeah. I guess we are about the 1 hour, and I think we have a few questions, but I think we should be almost about finished up with this. One question is, how large is the team working on Alien Worlds?
It's a lot bigger than people think. So within the core team, there's 4 of us. There's 4 aliens running the Federation. But then on top of that, we have extra developers, we have legal team, we have graphic artists. I'd say we have between 12 and 15 people working on the project, possibly more. Not everybody is full-time. It's a very decentralized kind of structure that we're running. Yeah, it's a lot of people that is
Are you
needed.
telling me you're running this like a DAC?
Kind of, you know, it's very like it's very ad hoc and very, you know, loosely coupled. Everybody's working in different teams, and then they may speak to subcontractors, and not everybody gets to talk to everybody. So it's kind of like the mafia in that sense. You know? There's no true knowledge that's going on, and everything is kind of working in their own little subgroups. But yeah, there's when you add everybody up, it's a lot of people. It's a very complicated game, and it's very involved in a lot of different jobs. You know, technical is obviously the main one that people think about, but actually business development, fundraising, legal, technical, graphics. There's you know, it's almost endless as to how many people you need to run these large projects.
Yeah, for sure. And okay, the Trillium token, we are asked about that, the token symbol and which blockchains it is on and will be on. So yeah. What's the answer here?
The token symbol is TLM, and it will be on the Wax blockchain and also as an ERC20 token. So it can be sent backwards and forwards between the Ethereum chain and the Wax chain.
Yeah, that's so Ethereum and Wax is what is planned, or is that final?
We're considering other chains as well, and as they become useful or necessary, we can add other chains as well. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, if it's a Wax wallet that you use to play these games and mine, do you need more RAM? Do you need CPU? What kind of resources does that account need?
You will need a little bit of RAM. We've tried to kind of pay for a lot of the RAM ourselves without opening ourselves to any kind of attacks or anything. You will need a little bit of CPU, but for mining, it's a tiny amount that you actually need to mine, and most people who have the standard account will be okay. Our aim is that people don't really have to worry about topping up the CPU and the RAM for normal operations, but
yeah,
I think we're going to have to see how it goes with standard accounts and what they're trying to do and how much CPU they need and how busy the chain is. It's a complex.
And then yeah, exactly. It's like if you say 50 wax or 10 wax or 5 wax now, it might not be the same in the future depending on how much the chain is used and things like that.
Yeah.
But from my experience so far, if you have 20 to 50 wax staked to CPU, it's more than enough to do whatever you want on wax.
Yeah, and there's an account called boost.wax which will give CPU to various accounts. So we're looking at using that as well. Yeah, we're going to have to play it by ear a little bit, but the goal is that people aren't really sort of encumbered by that, unless they're advanced users, in which case they're on their own. You know, if they're pointing and clicking on our interface, it should be okay that they're only doing a few transactions a day. So yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, and if you plan to start to use miners, you will not be able to use the boost wax, and you probably won't be able to use a few other features. You will have to do it yourself as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're not using a .wam account, then you're on your own basically. That's,
we have a question. You have said, okay, I will take this as his words. I don't know if this is true. That your favorite mining equipment is that Go Boom. Can you explain?
Yeah, so anything explosive generally has a larger percentage of the mine, but a longer charge time. So I tend to prefer those tools where I can take a large amount and then wait, take a large amount, wait. But another strategy is to take a little bit every couple of minutes, you know, so it's down to the individual. But yeah, for me personally, I'm probably going to go for maximum amount of Trillium. I know you've spoken a little bit that you might be optimizing for NFT luck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really going to worry too much about gaining the extra NFTs. I think I'm going to go right for the Trillium and
yeah, I mean, depending on which land you choose, you might want to optimize it in different ways. And depending on your play style, and if you go with one account, if you have multiple accounts.
Yeah, I think I'll probably mine on my own land. And I'm thinking if I have some land, I might offer some good deals for people, maybe if they vote for me. Or yeah, I'm thinking a little bit about kind of like the land politics as well, because it doesn't just happen on the planet level. You've got, I can adjust my commission based on who mines, and yeah, there might be some strategy there as well, which I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I have a few plans there as well that might be interesting for some people. We will see what happens there. But one thing that we haven't really gotten into that I find interesting is we have these lands and they are in packs, and people on Wax don't like to open their packs. Well, some of them. We have opened a lot of these Alienworlds packs in no time.
Yeah.
But what happens with lands that are not opened? Can people use them? Are there any benefits to it? How does it work?
Yeah, so land is all pre-minted. That will be minted before the packs are created. And you can mine on the land which is not owned by anybody yet, which is still in the packs. And the default commission is 20%. So that commission will go towards the global account. And then every time somebody opens a land pack, they receive a percentage of that unclaimed commission. So there's going to be this increasing pot, and then you receive, I think it's 50 to 75% of that pot. So that's going to be increasing over time. And eventually it's going to get to such a level that it would be crazy to not open a land pack, because you're guaranteed 50% of it and possibly 75% of it. So we really want people to open their land packs. We don't want people to be hoarding them for too long. So we've added this extra incentive for people to open packs. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't break any kind of gameplay. It's more fun if the land is out there.
So yeah, the longer the game goes and lands are not open, the more interesting it will be to open a pack of land.
Yeah, like I say, it's going to get to a point where it would be crazy not to just open your land packs.
But that's more for degenerates that like gambling, like myself, that get stuck into this and kind of start to take the math on that, because you have a chance of getting higher, but owning the land also guarantees you to this extra income that you can set by yourself.
Yeah, so some people may decide, oh, I want to hoard the land pack until that pot gets high, and then I'm going to wait until that point. So there may be a little bit of hoarding in the beginning, but a lot of people are going to open it immediately because they want the direct commission themselves. So.
And something that's good with Wax here is that the moment you open the packs, it's like no time at all and it's open. On Ethereum, you could actually have a contract reading the transaction and pushing your request to open a pack faster, and then you would cut that if you wait for something. But that's not really possible on Wax.
It is possible, but only certain people could front run that, and we're hoping that those people aren't going to do it. Basically, node operators and block producers could.
And if we see that people like Michael and myself will probably notice that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be possible, but I mean, who's got time for that? Who's got time to modify Node.js to make it pick up a land pack a little bit early? And you know, I don't know if you do. I don't
No,
think
it's not. No,
it is purely theoretical that block producers could include. Yeah, they could include their land pack opening just before my land pack opening because they see that one's coming through, so it's optimal to take it now. Yeah, I think that's unlikely.
Yeah, and I think we have done most of the questions, and I think we have been on for over 75 minutes. So I think we should call this a day. And I think we have gotten a lot of information about the game that people can start to digest.
Yeah, it's been good, and I think we can do them quite regularly as well. And we can have, as people learn more, they're going to have more questions as well, I think. So, and we've had good questions this time. So
yeah, I agree. And all the people that have entered the questions, I will put you in a list. I will randomize the possibility of getting a pack, and I will send out 5 promo packs on these accounts. There's one account that looks weird. I will just verify what that means, and then we can actually go out with that comment from that person. And his question was good luck.
It's the best question, yeah.
So thanks for coming on, and if people want to learn more, below this video there will be links to the Telegram and Discord and website and everything, and if not, just search for alienworlds.io, that website, and you will find everything as well.
Yeah.
So, peace!